How about that airplane mode?
Cool.
Boom.
Boom.
Done. It's on. It's on. It's live.
All right, so we can, because you're gonna edit this, so we can just kind of.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, man. Editing being like if there's audio or we fuck up or we say something that's really bad. Sometimes people will say stuff that's like, dude, you can't say that.
You can't say that.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be fired from my job.
Yeah, I know, right? And I haven't had too many guests, so I'm excited.
I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you calling my podcast name like a bad Xbox
yeah,
Live
it's like
tag.
a shitty Xbox Live.
Wait, what's your tag name for?
So my Xbox Live name?
Yeah.
Is Zona Null. It just recently got changed though, because
Zona
just like
Null?
like Zona Null, like
Zona Null.
Zonanole,
Yeah.
right? So the reason why I changed it, I'll tell you why I changed it, is because I was playing a game called Overwatch, right? And Overwatch is known as like one of the worst online communities, like so toxic. Have you ever heard that term,
just a
toxic?
bad community people.
Oh, just like shitty people, right?
9-year-olds?
Yeah, no, not 9-year-olds, like 20-somethings that are really good at video games. So this is their one haven. Like,
oh no.
They're not. They're the guy that you would like back in high school. You'd see get stuffed in lockers, but when they get online and they're behind a microphone,
They're stuffing
and they're playing,
people.
oh yeah, they're stuffing you in a locker on video games, right?
Yeah.
So I have a guy who I'm online and I'm playing, and then my old name was a nickname that my high school football coach gave me, and he would call me the Great White Hope.
The
right?
Great White Hope?
The Great White Hope, right?
Oh no.
So obviously sensitive times we live in, and lots changed since 2009 to now.
Yeah.
And I'm online, and this guy is just ruining me, calling me like a racist, calling me X, Y, and Z, making fun of me because I'm not that good. So I was like, all right, maybe it's time for a rebrand. So then I got Zona Null.
Oh, so that guy got you so good with this shit talk that you had to rebrand.
Not only rebrand, but I was so shook by this. I felt the need to pay $10.99 because it costs money on Xbox Live.
It costs money to change it?
I felt the need to pay $10.99 to get my Xbox.
This guy
Live
shit talked $10 out of you.
He literally shit talked the hell out of me $10. I was walking back. I was going to Xbox Live with my credit card, with my tail between my legs. Exactly.
Oh, the guy at the cash register was probably like, one of these, huh?
Yeah.
One of those. And
exactly.
Go so well.
Exactly.
He's like locked eyes. Like, it's okay.
See, that's
man.
the thing, is that like when you look at the way, like, because I play video games a lot. Like a lot of people watch like a lot of TV. A lot of people watch, Game of Thrones, Westworld. For me, it's my getaway is video games. So those are my people.
Yeah, I know. We've talked a lot about it. You're really good at killing people on PUBG. And
PUBG?
I'm good at surviving. Like I like the whole, wait till the bubble gets close, run, maybe you lose some health, throw a couple bandages on as you
play
get
the
in.
elusive game.
Right.
Like
and
that.
if you get sniped while you're running back into the circle, you're dead because you have no health, right?
100%.
But then when it comes down to it, there's like 5 people left. I got one guy that killed over here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll kill somebody and then I'm done because I can't easily just mow somebody down and move on to the next. It's like
It's
a
tough.
whole process for me to kill one person.
That game's a pain in the ass. So don't think you're definitely not in the minority on that one.
Okay, well, what do you like? See, what I was doing was I started to like just say fuck it and jump into the middle of this shit and just like start to learn how to shoot. But
that's how you gotta do it.
It was tough though because I would literally just die and then have to wait. Like the amount of opportunity you have to go kill somebody and then the pause in between. I'm like, then I can't get no repetition. I'm like not getting any better because it takes 2 hours.
You gotta drop in the hottest areas. You gotta pick up a gun. You just gotta figure it the fuck out.
Hopefully you get connected to a game really quick.
Because it takes 25 minutes to connect to a game in that game. Yeah.
And then you just start punching people in the lobby.
Yeah, exactly. Grab a pan, machete.
What you do, a lot of people don't do this, is you switch the first person mode. Yes. And then when you punch them, it's like you really.
So you're already way ahead.
Yeah, you're
already way ahead.
Yeah. See, I don't
you're throwing haymakers. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you were playing PUBG. Now you're playing Fight Night.
Yeah, when it comes to winner chicken dinner, you don't get those in Fight Night. So I'm
exactly
Fight Night. Yeah, PUBG's great. I mean, COD for me, Brandon just started playing it again, and there's just something about hardcore mode when you get that little tick and that little, you just kick somebody and you get that, you're just like, it's just so.
It's very satisfying.
It feels so satisfying.
See, I recently, because of Brandon, I recently started playing Call of Duty a lot again, and then but I'm getting like all engrossed in like these daily challenges and these like weekly challenges,
like
where
kill
it's
somebody
like
with a grenade.
500 kills, and like I'll sit there and play until I get from one end of that to the other.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, exactly. So it's like Call of Duty's been a little bit of a problem for me.
Like, honey, what's for dinner?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Not even that. Like, I won't even eat. Like, I'll just look up, be like, yeah, that's fine, that's good. And then
She just comes down, puts an Adderall in front of you.
Exactly.
Like, it's okay,
exactly.
Gives
just
you a kiss
keep
on the
going.
cheek.
Yeah, keep
You
going.
don't even break eye contact with the screen.
Exactly.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, exactly. That's me to a T right there. You
Meanwhile,
got it.
someone's belittling you and you're getting your credit card out.
Right, exactly.
Not
And
again.
meanwhile, some 12-year-old just popped me from across the map and's ruining me.
Oh, so do you miss living in Florida at all?
I was actually just back 2 weeks ago, and this is July. So I realized that you miss certain parts of living in Florida. One being the water, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, for
Same
a lot of what we did growing up, it's like in high school, you know, on the weekends you'd go out on somebody's boat and you'd go fishing, blah, blah, blah. So that's cool, but what I tell you I don't miss is, what is it, 110 out here right now, 111?
It's relentless.
It's relentless, but I'll take this over that any day of the week because, dude, I was fucking pouring sweat when I was there, bro.
Yeah.
I had to have dry fit on every single day.
That's crazy.
If you weren't wearing dry fit, you were just absolutely just caught and just fucking drenched. It rained every day.
Yeah.
And that's another thing people don't realize is people are always like, oh, well, why'd you move to in the middle of Arizona this heat? I was like, I have had my plans rained on here one time.
What?
I've lived here 3 years.
You got it rained on plans?
3 years. And I play golf all the time.
Oh.
Right? I play golf all the time. I've had one instance in 3 years.
And it probably
where-
wasn't even that bad of rain.
It wasn't even that
Or
bad
was
of rain.
it?
It's just because out here, despite what you might think, the dead desert heat and an area that's starved for water rejects it and it floods everywhere. So they don't want you driving the golf course all over the course, and they don't want you going and hacking it up because it takes a long time to repair a golf course.
Yeah,
out
that's
here.
true. That's true. I mean, yeah, because then it really puddles up bad. I think for me, like I can't imagine how bad it is with the humidity in the South. I've never experienced it. Maybe it's Savannah
awful.
when I was eighth grade. But like the heat out here, you can get away from going to your car and going from the parking lot to your supermarket back to your car, getting in your car, and you may sweat and glisten a little bit.
Right.
But I imagine like in a place like Florida, you can't get even. You can't even go into the parking lot, back into your car, and
Right.
then sit in your hot car for a minute
Right.
without just.
Well, what's funny is I was having this exact conversation. So my uncle's best friend, I was there for my Ethan, my cousin, his 21st. So we had like a ton of family friends. We all showed up, surprised him in Cedar Key, which is like this place up northern Florida.
Cedar Key?
Cedar Key.
Okay.
Right. So it's this like little key that literally you have to go up. So basically you take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, right? So it's on the western portion of Florida. You have to drive up about 2 hours from Tampa. You hang a left and you have to go 23 miles over a bridge, and there's this tiny island out in the middle of the Gulf. And so we all met him up there, and I was having this exact conversation with my uncle's best friend Jim, who's from California. They still have a cabin in the Sierra Nevadas, right?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, gorgeous. And he's like trying to move back, but because he has a daughter, he's like, I want to live somewhere east of California but west of the Rockies. So he's like, Utah, blah blah. He's like, I can't fucking do this humidity anymore. I can't even do the mosquitoes. Idaho would be solid. I actually was just watching a documentary about Idaho last night.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a fucking nerd, dude.
Dude,
Yeah,
I heard
yeah.
Idaho's. I mean, from what Joe Rogan
Gorgeous.
says, they have a wolf population there, and they need people to hunt down.
They
the
literally
wolves.
like will let you go out there and shoot wolf for free. They're so bad because they just eat up livestock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're talking about like people's livelihoods. So they'll literally let you go out there and shoot.
There's nobody
wolf
to
for
hunt
profit.
the predator, so
No,
it's like
no.
yeah.
But what I will tell you I miss most about Florida is I do miss being able to readily go back to Florida State games.
Yeah, of course. That's your shit, man.
Yeah, for sure. So being able to go up to Tallahassee and see, like, you know, have all my buddies go up there, because a lot of my friends still live in Florida. So it's like for us to all be able to meet and like just have beers and enjoy a game weekend, that's something I for sure miss.
It's tough to go back frequently too when you're this far away.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, it's difficult because it's an in and out, you know, like it's never long enough, you know. So you get there, I fly in on a Friday morning, Thursday night, I'm flying back out Sunday, and it's like if I want to get a reasonably priced flight, I got to go out of Jacksonville or Tampa, so that's at least a 2 hour to 4 hour drive.
One of those days is strictly travel.
It's pretty much one day is pretty much totally travel. So if I fly into Tampa, that's 8 hours of just driving time, right? So it's like it's difficult and it's like exhausting. You go in and then I've got to be at work on Monday morning, first thing in the morning. Like, no shot. No, sure.
That's the thing with me too. When I go home, I can go home a lot. I come back and like my head's messed up. I'm like I'm either in like super vacation mode or like I miss home mode, and I'm like a little more cynical than I should be. But like I love it out here. I don't want to leave.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's where I want to be for for my immediate future for sure. But like I come here, I'm just so nasty for like a day or two. I'm
Dude,
like,
you can't.
I
It's
miss
impossible.
my home. Yeah.
But at the same time, but
way.
it's like it's not to say that I even miss home. But what I can't stand is the fact that I just get back and it's like I'm a guy like on a weekend I need that like 6 hours on a Sunday where it's just like bang. That's like my time.
Yeah.
Just kind of shut down. Get the fantasy baseball going. I've got the laptop up. I've got the monitor up with my games on it. I've got the TV going with baseball. You know, I've got the iPad with the fantasy baseball. Another baseball game on the laptop. Yeah, I get real serious about my chill time.
Spencer's World sounds fun. I'll be honest.
You know, and it's a very, very laid back time.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people look at Sunday as like the end of the weekend, but it's really the beginning of your week.
It's the beginning.
Saturday is the end of your week. It's the fun day. It's the last day you can go hard, right? Great way to end the week. Then Sunday morning you wake up, and that's usually when I like to have my. I don't have like a 6 hour block or whatever, but that's when I have my me time. I wake up, maybe get a stretch or a run in, or like go get some coffee. I'll go to like a coffee shop. You're also much
fitter than I am. So that would make sense. I mean, I probably should be doing a little bit more of that in my Sunday routine.
6 hours I just started running. Fuck fantasy.
Fuck running, yeah.
There's a correlation between how much I've run and how much my fantasy team has tanked.
Well, mine's still shitty and I don't run. So you tell
might as well pick it up.
Yeah, he might as well. Yeah.
Can't get much worse.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully, Kelly, I know you asked me about Jensen. Hopefully he picks it up a little bit. I know he blew a save 2 nights ago, but then he just got one yesterday.
He got one yesterday. He's good. He'll be fine.
He's a stud. You know what happened when he blew it?
You know who else is a stud? Ross Stripling's a stud. He had a fantastic game yesterday.
Oh, the pitch, yeah.
He had 7 innings, 6 Ks. I think it was like 1.05 whip and like a 1.50 ERA. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
I think when it comes to Dodgers starting rotation, he's been like the staple this year. He's been like the rock, like the guy who's been really consistent. Because like you look at Rich Hill, he's battled a blister at the beginning of the year, and
Wood's
then
been ups and downs. I have him too.
Yeah, Wood's been up and down. Like definitely not the season he had last year, which was he had a season like a career year last year, I think. But hopefully he picks it back up.
And then the ghost of Walker Buehler.
Yeah, dude, that guy.
Forever haunts
I think they sent him down to single A.
No, that forever will haunt me because I picked him up.
Oh,
so my buddy Jake, big Dodgers fan, you know him, right? He's like, you need to go take a look at Walker Buehler for your fantasy team. So I go, okay. So I pick him up.
You should smack your buddy Jake.
He throws a gem, right? Throws a gem. But then I read on like Roto World or something like that the next day that he came up. They're thinking about sending him back down. So I'm scrambling for pitching. So I'm like, okay, I've got somebody else who I could potentially pick up. If they're going to potentially send him down, I'm going to let him go, right? So I go drop him, right? Somebody else picks him up. They end up playing him again. They end up letting him start again, and that's when he throws his no-hitter.
Oh, no.
That's when he throws his fucking no-no. And him and Scooter Gannett, those were my two that I picked up and dropped Scooter Gannett twice. So I had him on the roster at the beginning of the season, dropped him, and then picked him up again for a couple games, dropped him, and now he's one of the best players.
It's impatient, dude. I mean, I always do that in hockey fantasy, but it's just like you gotta wait it out. There could be some streaky, but then Buehler just gets racked. I mean, I think they sent him down for some like minor league games.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, but at the same time, if I could have had that no-no, that'd have been nice.
Yeah, that would have probably won the week for you if you lost
easily.
Yeah, I mean, so Stripling has been different. I mean, Kershaw's been he's Kershaw, but he's been battling injuries. So yeah, Ross Stripling's been tight.
I love Ross Stripling.
Yeah, it was weird when Kenley blew that save the first game against the Angels 2 days ago. Like it was all one pitch. I feel like he does this thing sometimes when he messes with your timing, where he lifts his leg up and then brings it down and then slides it for a little bit and then releases it. Like it's he's just trying to throw off the batter's timing, and he throws it way too high. Does it again, throws it way too high, and then he can't find his release point again, and and he walks the guy, and then from there he blew it.
He was my first pickup, and then at the beginning of the season, his first 2 games he blew 2 saves there too.
What's up, man?
Oh, Brando.
Are you just creeping, or what? Are you gonna grab a chair?
I need you to get a chair.
I thought y'all were like in the middle of recording.
Oh, we're live.
We are.
We're recording this here.
So are you gonna grab a chair?
Yeah, you gotta come in.
Yeah.
Should I
Well,
get
Buzz
him
in
out?
here.
Yeah, toss this guy. I'll be gonna. Actually, he'll probably just kick it up here, but.
Whatever, your call.
Bubba, you wanna come? Yeah, if he gets to know, he can bounce out. But I'm like, honestly, he's just gonna sleep in front of the fan.
I was like, what the hell are you looking at? And then we've got a scene out of The Fucking Shining behind us. So
this fucking guy. I'm gonna be honest. For like a minute and a half.
You stay there for a minute and a half.
I saw an eye. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make a point about Jensen's leg, and he's sitting there. I'm like looking at an eyeball. I'm like, how am I supposed to concentrate? Fuck.
What a creepy move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he grabbed a chair.
Right out of The Shining.
Yeah, well, so with Game 3 against the Angels, Dodgers have been lucky. They have had like the whole month of July. They're in California, so they have a road
That's
trip.
Really nice, though.
But it's like they play Anaheim, and then Anaheim. They go to San Diego, and then they go back home and they play Anaheim again. It's just like it's super easy.
See, but the thing is like, but it's the Dodgers, so it's like I would feel bad if it was like, you know, like a team. No offense to anybody who's like a lower tier MLB team. Because like the Dodgers, they may have it like all in California, but I mean you're gonna be staying first class everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean the way that they're gonna. Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm saying is that like the way that they take care of their players when they travel, the way that they make sure that they, you know, try and make every single road trip, whether it's just from LA to San Diego, you know, as comfortable for them as possible. That's like a marquee. That's why you get big name players to come and play for you, because you'll pay them a lot, one, and then they know that your facilities are world class, your travel's world class. I mean, everything is just
it's top of the line. Yeah. You hang out with your favorite movie stars. You can go to your favorite clubs. Endorsement deals probably big because they guarantee to have some big companies there. But speaking of that, I think it. So I was debating with the Diamondbacks fan if the Diamondbacks or the Dodgers are going to get Machado. And I was like, I don't know.
It'll be the D-backs.
You think it's going to be the D-backs?
Yeah, I think so. Well, they'll give the Orioles more. They have more to give.
But there's no cap space.
I understand there's no cap space, but you have to understand is that this is a JD Martinez type situation here. Okay, so the Orioles are going to say, what can I? They know that they're not going to keep Manny Machado. There's no chance they're going to be able to resign.
Exactly.
Right?
They're ready to.
So what they need to do is this is like one of the coolest things in baseball. I think is you get players for a year. This happened with JD Martinez last year in Arizona. Right, Arizona did the same thing. They gave what team was JD Martinez on before the D-backs?
Oh shit!
I totally am blanking.
I'm blanking
this.
too.
Anyway,
Boston.
No, he's on Boston now.
Oh, he is.
Right, but what happens is that they'll go ahead and his contracts, Manny Machado's contract's going to run out at the end of the season. Right. Mm-hmm. So the Orioles are going to say, okay, we need to find a team that's in contention that could potentially make the playoffs and make a run. Right. The Diamondbacks desperately need a third baseman, an infielder that can hit, right? Outside of Daniel Descalso, Nick Ahmed's not playing well. Jake Lamb's picking it up a little bit, but he's shaky. He was also injured for a lot of the season, right?
Yeah, he was.
So what they're going to do is they're going to bring in, and they have more as far as like young talent is concerned, like, you know, top prospects to be able to go ahead and trade the Orioles for the Orioles to be able to go ahead and mold them into something that would be beneficial to them long term. Now, what the D-backs get out of it is they get a world-class third baseman who can swing the bat that's going to help him through this season, that'll help them try and achieve their goals. The D-backs are going for broke because Goldschmidt's contract's going to run out shortly, right? They have to do something to where they need to use this team right now to win a championship. Greinke's getting older.
Yeah, they're a little more desperate.
Right, exactly. So what I'm saying is that the Dodgers can afford anybody at any time, right? So what'll happen?
Harper.
Yeah.
Next year, baby. Let's go.
Exactly. So that's what my point is, right? It's like any marquee free agent that comes out there, you guys can go ahead and say, we want him.
Just throw our dicks on the table.
Exactly. And unless they decide to go, because they're going to pay whatever the Yankees, the Red Sox, and any other, what's the third team that's up there right now? You got Yankees, Red Sox, and then I'm trying to remember who. You got Dodgers, obviously.
Mariners and Houston.
As far as like the
top of the top?
I'm not talking about talent-wise. I'm talking about like how much money they spend on their
Oh,
players.
I thought you meant like top.
Like total salary each year, like team salary. I forget.
Oh, I don't know.
Nonetheless,
Cubs?
what they'll do is right, and then you guys will probably get Machado next year, but the D-backs will get him for this run through the playoffs and maybe beat you guys in another wild card game.
Yeah, interesting. Because I mean, I feel like even what we were saying about what the Orioles need, the Dodgers can offer stuff the Orioles need to get better over the long. We have great prospects.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that Arizona has more that they'd be willing to give. The Dodgers can afford everyone.
Dave's here.
Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
well, hey.
Should we invite?
Well, go hang out with him for a minute. I'm come in here if you guys want. Yeah, just find a spot for him.
I saw him walk.
JD Martinez was on the Tigers before he went to Arizona.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he comes over to Arizona, right? And there's incentive. You have to remember, because there's incentive for these guys to play well, because they're going to be free agents at the end of the year. So what did JD Martinez do? He comes out to Arizona and he fucking just starts ripping homers, like literally
I'm playing
at an absurd
for money.
rate. Exactly.
Like-
Because there's every bit of incentive. And that's why these deals are so fascinating to me, because there's every bit of incentive for that player to play their fucking hardest out for the team they're going to go on. And that team, who's a fringe team, like, realistically, the D-backs are the most hot and cold team in the MLB. It's no doubt about it, right? Like, you take a look at the start of the season, great team, worst team, great team, worst team, great team, mediocre team. You know, it's like they go up and down. They can go ahead and if they can get it all strung together, they can make a legitimate run towards the World Series. I believe that wholeheartedly, in an unbiased
absolutely.
way. So you get Manny Machado, who comes in. He's got every bit of incentive to be able to play his ass off, because he wants a fucking absurd JD Martinez $128 million, $130 million contract the next year from the Dodgers or something of the nature.
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason why I think the Dodgers would make a real serious move for him is because we do need middle infield with Seager being hurt the rest of the
Right.
year, right? We can make a pivot. When he comes back, you put him at second. But now you have Max Muncy, who's playing his heart out too. You're like, where do you put him? It's just like,
They were talking
you got
about
people
this.
that step up all the time.
They were talking about this the other day when I was watching that. I just picked up Matt Harvey, who had a decent game yesterday, but I was watching the Cincinnati Cubs game yesterday, and they were talking. The Cincinnati announcers were talking about the Cubs having that problem, like having so much talent, you just don't know how you can get everyone in the mix because everyone's just playing so well, and you have so many good baseball players.
Yeah.
What a fucking problem to have.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, when it comes down to it, you're like, damn, I wish we were an AL team. Or
Right.
one of these bats could be active, you know what I mean?
Right.
I saw it a lot, too, in the playoffs, though, like, just anybody stepping up. Like, between, like, Grandal and Barnes, they were, like, when one was, I forget who pitches. I think Barnes likes to play with Hill or something like that, where they always play together. But you could just, any pinch hitting position or any chance some guy was too tired, they either rotated in the playoffs, somebody just stepped right up and played. So you want depth, but you hopefully they can just step right in and play.
And that's also something
I've
I've noticed is pretty interesting too. So, like, for instance, if you take a look at, like, somebody who's lived in multiple markets as far as teams are concerned, right?
Yeah.
So I was born in New York, right? So I grew up a Yankees fan. My dad would take my brother and I to Yankees games, Mets games all the time, right? Then I moved to Tampa. They have the Rays, who I hate the Rays because they're the worst fans in the world. And then I come back over here I moved to Arizona, and I've always watched the D-backs games because that would be like my late night go to sleep game on the East Coast. I'd watch the Yankees play, and then after that I'd go, lay in bed, and then I'd watch the D-backs game where I'd fall asleep, whatever, because my whole family's from out here. So
yeah.
I noticed that I have no idea what the fuck's going on in the AL anymore. Like, nothing.
You mean like player-wise? Or
Player-wise,
position, like,
right. Player-wise, position by position, who's a good pitcher, who's not a good pitcher.
So you know the NL, you probably know the NL West really well.
Just a simple switch of what I've had to focus on, and like, so for instance, like, I've never, like, when I lived in New York, I lived a far ways away from the Yankees, but now it's like I live 20 minutes from the D-backs games. I can get down there in 20 minutes, no matter when the traffic, right? Tickets are cheap, so I go to games all the time, right?
You really?
So,
Okay.
all the time, right? So, but what I've noticed is just that simple switch. Like, now I have no fucking idea what's going on in the AL anymore. Literally, I know, obviously, like, okay, Mike Trout's good, right? Like, but that's, like, to the extent of it. Like,
I mean, you got the Yankees, you got the Astros, you got the Mariners. I mean,
right.
everybody's pretty
Red
close.
Sox, Yankees. I know as far as, like, you look at the stack rank and
Yeah,
the standings,
that's all-
I got that.
that's all I know.
That's all I got, right?
Yeah,
See, that's what I'm
that's all I
saying.
got. Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me, like, I had no idea that, like, Luis Severino was in a run, was like number 2 right now in Vegas for odds to win the AL Cy Young this year, right behind Chris Sale of the Red Sox.
It's too early though for me. That's why, like, I think that's why it's so loose for you. Is like it's not important enough yet. Like, once the closer it gets to the playoffs, to the last month, the more people start to focus in,
Right.
the more people start to learn more trends, and you start to forget about the not meaningless stuff.
Right. Well, then the people who are not the diehard fans of teams that are in playoff contention all of a sudden come out of come out of the closet once it becomes playoff time.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
It's going to be interesting when it comes down to it. When's the All-Star game?
It's like 2 weeks.
Is it really?
It's not. It's
Where's it
super
at?
close. Washington.
Dang, Washington's just getting everything this year.
I know.
Like getting rid of
It's a
Bryce
good
Harper
year.
next year, though. He's
I know.
packing his
There's
bags.
no way. There's no way to keep him. No
I don't
way.
think so. I don't
He's
think
like it'll be like another one of those things where I mean that guy's gonna get an absurd amount of cash. He's still young. Do you see how young Mike Trout is?
so. He's like
His
24
agent
or
is so
something.
damn smart. You see him sign these I think he signed like a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. Like that's how these guys are starting to do it now. And it's so smart because it's like you don't have to commit long term because that's like it's totally different. It's not like you always hear like the older guys when they're getting interviewed on like the baseball stuff. They're always like that was the organization that drafted me. I'm gonna stick with them. Blah blah blah. Now these guys, it's like which I would probably do the same exact thing in reality.
Yeah.
Make as much fucking money as you can because
In
you
1
don't know.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Because you don't know. One day all of a sudden you take a fucking you're running a casual run down, first base, and all of a sudden your ACL's done, and then you miss a whole year, that kind of thing.
Well, isn't the NFL the only league that's like that, where it's not guaranteed? Yeah, everything else is pretty much guaranteed.
Well, it was funny. Well, I'm talking about just as far as like big earning potential is concerned, right? Yeah. So like if in fact like. So, for instance, Mike Trout, right? So he signed like a $98 million, like what was it, 1 year?
Oh, I can look it up.
You should look it up. It was something super egregious, but basically what they're doing is these like 1-2 year deals with options, right? That
you get extension,
right? So watch, take a look at it here.
Oh, this is 2014.
But if you take a look at it, like that's how these that's part of what they're talking about in the NFL right now too.
Yeah,
is that they want more guaranteed money on something that was the CBA that they originally signed, right? And I could be off on that, but I know he may not have been Mike Trout, but it was somebody who did that
through 2020. So he's with the Angels through 2020.
That maybe I'm wrong on the name. There's somebody who is doing that right now. It's like kind of the Darrelle Revis approach of things.
Oh, okay.
Right, so you're going to basically farming out which team is going to pay you the most money year by year, and just like if you're confident enough in how you can play, then you just go ahead and just get that every single year and just hop around. I mean, look at Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis is on like 4 different teams. He got the Bucks good too, which I'm a Bucks fan. He got the Bucks for like something like $16 million for 1 year, and he played like maybe like 2 games guaranteed. Ooh. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Well, that's what you that's the way you really have to do in the NFL.
Well, they were talking about these long-term deals because like you'll have a 6-year deal. It's worth $140 million, right? And 30 of which will be guaranteed, and then the rest of it's all incentive-based. So it's like you have that $30 million is like you're going to get that. And let's say like they were talking about it the other day. I think it was like Golick and Wingo or something like that. And they're talking about like they called the end of those contracts funny money. Because it's just not realistic.
Yeah.
Like as far as the incentive and how things are gonna go for that. So, I think that would be something that would be interesting to see year over year how. And I think Bryce Harper will be one that's probably going to do something like that, unless he gets a massive deal where it's completely 100% guaranteed.
Probably be the latter. Because that guy's so consistent.
He's
him
ridiculous.
And Trout.
Ridiculous.
So his swing is like. He's got the most. Harper's got the most violent looking swing. The way he just like.
Oh God.
Scoops the ball out of there.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm a big fan of him, so hopefully he makes it out there. What do you think about the NCAA? Who do you think's gonna be Final Four this year? If you were to guess right now.
Football?
Yeah, football. And yeah, college football.
You got to take Georgia. Georgia's got to get really taken. I mean, of course, Alabama. You can never rule them out, right? And then I would probably say Georgia, Alabama, and then you're probably looking at. I would say like you could look at like a dark horse. I would say it would be like a West Virginia sneaking in.
West Virginia?
I read an article, I forget the name of their quarterback, but they think that quarterback at West Virginia could be a top 10 pick. But then Clemson,
athlete.
Obviously, Clemson will probably be there.
All right, so that's 4. Stop right there. That's 4.
That's 4. But then West Virginia is my dark horse.
Okay.
So then Clemson, and then I'd probably go somewhere along the lines of, who would I would take? You'd probably want to take a look at somebody like I want to kind of diversify and go to like maybe like look at like a Pac-12 team.
That's what I was about to bring up. Why can't the Pac-12 get their shit together?
I just don't think that I think USC is finally starting to get it to put together a little bit. Like they'll never be the USC that they were with the Pete Carroll days, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's just absurd.
Stacked.
Right. I'm 100%. But I would say that overall, like the Pac-12 just doesn't seem to understand how to be able to like keep their own talent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you take a look at Willie Taggart, who's Florida State. I mean, he's one day you got a couple of guys that flip from California to come over and play in Tallahassee across the country. You know, I mean, you're talking about one of the number one defensive backs in the country, and Jaden Woodby is now playing in Tallahassee, where he should be playing at U.S.A.
Dang. I don't know college players like blue chip athletes come out of high school. I don't know people's names like that in college world that well, but I know which programs are kind of usually pretty dominant and which people have the best recruiting. I know on the East Coast, you said you guys used to stay up and watch like late games. The Diamondbacks for your team and watch that here. Did you guys ever watch like
Pac-12 games?
Pac-12 games back late, like USC or UCLA, or only when it mattered?
Well, sometimes it was just so bad that you just couldn't watch it. I mean, I don't know if I told you this before, but I watched one game. I think it was ASU versus, I want to say Utah. And I saw a designed run play to an offensive lineman in the middle of the field. So you always see those gimmicky plays like in the end zone, right? So it's like close, or you'd have a lineman line up as a running back and try and run it in. Or all of a sudden you have like an offensive tackle who's like 400 pounds, line up as an extra tight end on the end, and then all of a sudden he runs an out route and they dump it off to him for a touchdown. The big guy gets his glory, right?
Right.
But then you take a look at like, I watched a designed run play, and like there wasn't like it was like third quarter, game was close, right? And I think it was like probably at that point like 45 to like 42 because there's no defense playing in this fucking
that's what
game.
I'll say next. Yeah.
Right. And so they run a design pass play to the fucking offensive lineman, and I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, in the middle of the field on a second down, like
44 points.
Yeah,
obviously,
like
your offense is working.
dude.
Just keep running your offense.
It's like
we're all out of touchdown plays. We got to come up with a new one.
Dude, it's great.
That's what I hate too. Like, I mean, I don't want to say hate, but I strongly dislike football. That is, it's almost like the Baylor kind of football where it's just gun, 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 gun. Oregon football, gun, 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 and very little defense. I hate that. I'm like that's why I'm living with Brandon and becoming more of an Alabama fan, just because that's you live with people that are diehards, right? You can't get away from it. And I don't really have NAU. What am I gonna rep? NAU? Let's go Jacks!
Yeah.
Big Sky!
NAU?
Big Sky!
You know, I actually was in Flagstaff once, and I was gonna go to one of their games, and it's like, but then it was indoors. I was like, I don't know if I can get behind
Little Waukee Sky Dome.
Yeah,
Little
that's
Sky
sick,
Dome.
though. That thing's
You
sick.
climb to the top, look down from the middle. Look at it from up here. No, yeah. I mean, so I can appreciate, because I'm a defensive guy, so that's why I think I started to like Bama.
You played defense.
Yeah, I played linebacker. No, not
in NAU?
At high school. No,
in high school?
I broke my back in college. Never played.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so you played in high school. You played linebacker.
Linebacker and wingback. I played a wingback. Yeah, and that's why I think I started liking Alabama, is because they play mad defense, man.
It's ridiculous.
And then you look at the NFL and they're all Alabama players. Like I think what team, the Redskins, have like 3 Alabama players on the defense. Like everybody's got Alabama guys.
There was like a article that Batch actually sent me. It was like taking all of the NFL pros from each school and basically putting a top 25 together of like, if you took the best player at each position and like basically put together a team of like people who've played at that university that are there now. And I think Alabama's like their defense, I was looking at it, is just
nasty.
It's disgusting.
Like if you take let's say Bama's defense last year, and then you just keep that group together, because the only reason why they wouldn't beat up on NFL teams is because they're not strong enough. They're not grown men yet. They're still boys that are playing sport.
The whole kid Alabama
in college.
The Browns thing.
There are big boys down there, but you get into the show and you're fucking playing grown men, right? Like Harrison on what team is he on now? He's on
which one?
James the linebacker James Harrison.
James Harrison, he just retired.
Oh, he just retired. Okay, yeah, but that
he's
guy,
a savage.
That's what I think of as the NFL. Like that's him.
Do you follow him on Instagram?
No, I don't.
It's absurd.
Oh yeah,
because he's like fucking 42, and he's just sitting there, and he lives right up the road here. You know that, right?
Does he really?
He literally lives right up the road here. He trains like about 2 miles north of where my house is.
Obviously not now because it's 150.
So, no, he does.
Oh, he probably does.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right. It's James Harrison.
Dude, it's so funny. You watch him because I follow him on Instagram because I love James Harrison. That guy, he took his son's participation trophies, that they got in their like football league that they played in, and he threw him in the trash.
That's a fucking man right there. That's what I'm talking about.
He threw him in the fucking trash because he goes, yeah, my son's not getting any participation trophies. If they get a trophy, they need to earn it.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, you guys may call me an asshole and people may not like this, but that's the way I'm going to raise my kids. I have tremendous respect for him. So during his NFL years, right, because he's like 42, he doesn't get injured, right? And you could tell because the guy literally all he does is train. That's it. All he does is fucking train. And he does the most absurd trainings you've ever seen in your life.
He's like a human wrecking ball.
He is a massive man, human wrecking ball who just takes peak care of his body, right? And he would post every week because he would get more random drug tests from the NFL than any other fucking player. Like bar none. It would just be like, oh, and he'd always put like, he'd take a picture because he'd go to his locker and then the little cup would be there with the little letter from the NFL saying you need to give this to X, Y, and Z by this time, blah, blah, blah. And he would post as the caption, he goes, oh, here's another random, in quotations, drug test, you know, blah, 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 because the guy's just a fucking savage.
Yeah. I would hate to be like that lineman that knows you have to play against him all day. Dude. Like, it's a nighttime game, you're just sitting there you wake up and you're just like, yeah, the first thing on your news feed you check is a James Harrison post or something like that. I'm doing curls, and you're just, I got this to look forward to.
No shot. Did you watch the what is it, Hard Knocks with the Cincinnati Bengals?
Oh shit, probably a little bit.
That was the year that James Harrison was on. He was on that team for a year.
Oh, was he?
And holy shit, he would sit in like the meeting rooms, and he would just have his helmet on with that because he wears that all black visor.
Yeah.
And he would just sit there with his helmet on and just say nothing to anybody the whole time. Like the guy is just, when it comes down to competing, he just does not.
That's like, so like that's, I mean, I want a guy who's gonna make a good locker room team environment too, like the team before anything. Like that seems a little like, I don't want my teammates being scared of me that much. maybe like frightened,
that's his shtick,
but like they can still kick it with me, right? Like that kind of thing. That's me, I guess. But I think if you kept a core group of Alabama players together like last year, and they played together for like 4 or 5 more years, you'd have just the meanest defense ever in the NFL.
Yeah, you know, it's like, and that's why I was, you know, because Batch is always like, I'm like, when's this asshole gonna retire? Nick Saban. I have tremendous respect for what he's done.
Like the Sith was an asshole too, but like he eventually died.
but I was just like, he's 2 away from being ahead of Bear Bryant, and I'm like trying to figure out, like, let's just mail it in. Let's just give the guy his 2 titles in the next 2 years so we can get him out of the NCAA and then finally be able to go ahead and try to even this thing out.
Just give up.
Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, the guy is literally winning national titles every other year. It's every other year.
Yeah, I know, but once the NCAA Aya Mordor just looks at that organization, if they ever do, my God, somebody go look at this team.
Right, it's
like,
insane.
These kids are running wild. Brandon said like he saw, like he would see Julio Jones like in like a nice, him and somebody else driving matching Mustangs with their names on.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
like, just look at that team,
dude. You do the same thing in Tallahassee.
Oh, every team does it.
It's everything.
Every team does it. It's just, I'm telling you, it's like the Eye of Mordor. The minute they just turn, or the minute that team like slips on that ring, the eyes, we're done. Enough. Like they're gonna wait till after he wins it, and then belittle
it. And they'll do what they did to Pete Carroll if anything happens, because there's no way, right?
Yeah.
There's no way. My brother swears that Nick Saban beats his players.
You should have seen Brandon's face. I asked him because I was making a text message. I was typing a text message. Who says making a text message? I was making one.
I was crafting one.
I was
crafting one in my room. I really thought about it. I watched a couple of DIY videos online, and I said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and just put this together real quick. Go ahead.
And I sent it. I was like trying to spell Nick Saban, and I couldn't. That like adding 2 B's, and I was like, "How do you spell Saban?" And Brandon looked at me like he was about to kill me. Like,
the fuck?
He's like, "Who the fuck?" He's like, I think he said, "Who the fuck are you?"
I can definitely see what I'm saying.
Who the fuck
it's the
are
one
you?
time you see you go ahead and say something nasty to Brandon about Alabama. That's the one time you see him kind of.
Yeah, you're gonna bury him in like a Nick Saban vest.
Yeah.
You're going to bury me with an active Brazzers account. Good for 2 years.
You got the premium stuff. Can I get the login? Yeah, you have my MLB TV login. It's only fair.
Share you on my Brazzers account. I've gone up to 5.
Exactly. Oh, there you go.
I got Brazzers Mobile. Brazzers Go.
Perfect. You guys say, okay, you know where, no matter where, they have like the Netflix where you can download for offline mode. So like maybe you're mid-flight, you get a little lonely in that corner seat.
It's like, hey, can you turn the brightness up on that?
Dude, I had that happen once. I was on a flight from Dallas to Tampa, right?
Yeah.
And this lady who's sitting in front of me, prototypical, like, bimbo, right? I mean, she's got the collagen
lady.
in the lips. Oh, God, collagen in the lips. You can see the plastic everywhere. Her tits are massive, right? She pulls out, like, do you remember that, like, stretch during, like the 2010, 2011s where, like, HP and Dell were selling these behemoth laptops? You remember
yeah.
that? Like, you'd go into, like, a Best Buy or something, and they'd be, like, this fucking big.
Yeah,
you know
it was
It'd
like
be
a TV, it was a monitor.
massive.
It was
Like, I don't know
ridiculous.
how any battery could be able to support something like that. And those things died out quickly, but she pulls one of those out of her bag, right? And she flips it open, and I'm talking, this thing is fucking, I mean, this.
She's got a big
It's
screen HD
big
TV right on the
and
fucking
sure as shit,
Southwest
she
flight.
does porn. And
No.
she, swear to God. And the guy next to me, who's sitting next to me, I'm sitting in a middle seat, unfortunately. This is back when it wasn't making money.
You in a middle seat, huh?
Yeah, right. My big ass in the middle seat. All of a sudden, I get a nudge on my fucking arm, right? And I swear to God, he points like that, and I look over, and sure as shit, she's just flipping through this photo shoot that she did, and she's full nude. And I'm talking on this fucking HD big ass screen, and I'm like, this is fucking nuts. Like, this chick has got no shame. She's out here like, she's probably honestly advertising herself.
She's probably trying to get a little bougie.
But just sitting there, going through each picture right there, right in front of me.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
Obviously,
wild.
modeling or whatever she's doing is not going well because she's still riding coach.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still with the rest of the peasants like us.
Exactly.
You know? Fuck, man, that's hilarious. Yeah, I thought you were gonna. The guy next to you, Lindsay, was like, "Can you turn the brightness up on that?"
Shit, he was loving that shit. He didn't take his eyes off it. I was
Turn
like,
it this way?
I'm all like, oh my God, what if she could just be looking? But then I'm like, wait, she fucking has this on this, like...
If she calls you a perv for looking...
Yeah, you've got a fucking big screen TV on your lap right now.
What do you mean? You could have played Frozen. I'd still watch.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, Frozen's great. I shouldn't have that. Frozen's good. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
don't want to
fucked
muddle the two.
Yeah.
Keep good things good.
Of course I go there. I wrote down a question for you because I was like, I love pitching.
We gotta loosen it up.
I love pitching, and we have this wiffle ball league where you tape the wiffle ball up. It's amazing. You'd love it. Back
You're
there,
talking about with
Sandlot, with the hockey tape.
Yes.
Did I bring it and show you that yet?
No, but
I will.
you didn't tell me. We did something similar. We used electric tape, black electric tape. So
Yeah.
probably the same exact thing, and those things can go a country mile.
This thing just gives you a lot more texture. Let me show you a picture of it, of like the us just having a good time. I'll post this to the when I upload something, but like this is us in the field. That's my brother pitching and me. It's me pitching. This is actually the background on our.
You guys
SoundCloud.
taped the bat too, right?
Yeah, on my SoundCloud, this is the background of it. So like,
That's
you know,
awesome.
this is like the home. You hit it off. That's a home run. And there's the ball right there.
For sure.
So you do pegs, and I used to love throwing like a screwball. It was more like a two-seamer, but I'd throw a little bit on it, and it would cut enough to be like a little bit of a screw. So what would be, if you're a pitcher, what would be your favorite pitch to throw? What hand batter? Where in the strike zone?
See, that's like a
What's
really...
the count?
That's a really tough question because I love pitching.
I'll give you a couple.
Idea.
Give me a couple pitches you like.
Okay,
to throw.
so obviously if I had the ability to do it, you're obviously throwing a four-seam heater, like for sure. Right?
Okay, but up and in?
You're throwing it
Down
up and
and
in.
away?
You're gonna put it right up right there. Like you could think of like MLB The Show, square box you see on TV. I'd like to nestle it in that top left-hand quarter if it's a right-handed batter, or no? Yes.
So you're right-handed? You're
Right, so I'm right-handed.
Okay.
Right, so I would probably put it right on the top right-hand corner for him.
Yeah,
right?
inside on the right-hander?
Just inside, just right, so where that perfect like square goes in that box, I want the little pitch thing just to have it like right there.
Rather than turn the elbow in
Yeah.
on it, like it just almost grazes your elbow, and you're just like, yeah, you're right there,
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
That's a good one.
104, 105, yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I would do.
Okay, 104.
If you could.
Just some gas. Absolutely. I mean, this is
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, okay. What's another pitch you'd throw?
The ephus.
What's that? The what?
You've never seen the ephus? The ephus is like a knuckleball on steroids, dude.
This is like the thing that R.A. Dickey used to throw.
Dude, Dickey used to throw an ephus. Granke throws an ephus every now and then.
What makes it? I've never heard this name before.
So basically, like, I'd watch. So there's a documentary on Netflix called Knuckleball, And they basically, because if you're a knuckleball pitcher and you can be able to control the knuckleball pitcher, look how long.
Is Tim Wakefield the most
Wakefield, I mean, he's probably the most notable,
for
sure, knuckleball pitcher. And then, but you look at like, was it Stephen Wright for the Red Sox? He's pretty good. He's a knuckleball guy. But you can go, if you can control your knuckleball, I mean, you can have a career that goes on for forever.
I wonder how many, what's it, a backwards K when they strike out looking?
Yeah.
I wonder how many Wakefield has.
Oh, God.
But can you imagine just like throwing a knuckleball for a strike?
Watch that thing just dance. Like, you just have no idea which way that thing's
the
going.
umpire's like, I think it crossed the plate as a strike.
No idea.
It looked like it.
And like, it's crazy to see, like, an ethos is like a rarer version of a knuckleball. Like, knuckleball pitchers are already rare. Like, somebody who can throw an ethos, it's like super rare.
So how do you hold it?
So basically, it's the same concept as a knuckleball,
just get
right?
the knuckles
but I'm
on it.
fairly sure what you do is you just come down on it a bit harder, as far as
splitter almost, kind of.
Exactly, and then you go ahead and that thing. I mean, you watch that, like people will. It's like a really, you see a really good curveball, and somebody will back up like this, and you see like.
Does it have the same movement, or is it kind of like a knuckle where it's like, hey, let's go? Okay, dances. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Hate that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you throw that, all right? Yeah. So if you were a pitcher. Right,
okay.
you how many pitches would you have in your arsenal, and what would you throw?
I mean, I'm starting pitcher.
Let's say you have 3 pitches. Let's limit it to 3. I know you can get
three
creative.
pitchers.
Three are your go-to 3 pitches.
You probably want to have a good curveball, a good changeup, and a good fastball, right?
That's you. That's you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think for me, if I can go like dark horse, I guess on this, the 4th one, the change up, or I guess dark horse not the right. Yeah, it'd be like just regular change up. But I would honestly throw Mariano Rivera. I would go 4-seam cutter, 2-seam. Like my fastball goes straight, my fastball go left, my fastball go right.
Yeah,
it's like it cuts inside on you or outside on you. You never know which way it's gonna kick.
Just super simple.
Just pinpoint position, 95, 90, like on the cut, like 98, 99 on the 4.
Oh,
like,
dude,
just come in.
And the way that guy used to just dominate. I mean, you just hear that Enter Sandman come on, and he'd come walking out there, and he'd come trotting out on the field, and he'd just be like 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang.
A good cutter is the hardest thing to put your bat on. Like look at Jensen, Jansen or whatever. He throws this one splitter down, but because he disguises it like his cutter, and it gets people looking, and sometimes it gets past the catcher because it dips so much. You know what I mean? But he just positions his cut, and he'd even pitch. He used to be a catcher.
Well, and that's the thing is that like that's a testament to what it's like for if you can position the ball well, you can probably get away with not having as much velocity. But Jansen has a little bit of both.
He's a big dude.
Huge.
He can get up behind it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. I would definitely just position a fastball wherever I could, and then if I had to, I'd whip out a changeup out of nowhere.
Hell yeah.
People's hands in. Make people look stupid. Who's got the best curveball in the MLB?
I mean, you got to take a good look at like Zach Greinke's 12.6. I mean, that fucker dips like a crazy man.
Of course, you go NL West, right?
Well, I mean, just think about it.
You're not pulling. I was like, he's definitely not going to pull anybody from the AL.
Well, think about it. I mean, I'm so far. Like I said,
Sale's pretty good. Sale's got a good one.
I'm sure he does, but like I said, I'm like being honest with you is that I'm just removed from it, and it's just crazy because that's like I watch the D-backs every single day. You know, I watch the teams that come through, the majority of which are going to be NL teams, right? Yeah. And you just get detached from it.
Yeah, he's kind of like, you don't get their broadcasts, you get their updates. You have to like really go out and seek it. You really have to go out and seek it.
I'm still at work when the time the fucking any AL teams usually, any AL team that I'd be willing to watch is going to be starting to,
The only reason why I just know a lot about the whole NHL is because I throw on NHL Network when it's season, and I'm like I'm tuned in. Like I come home and I'm like, that's my ESPN for an hour, 2 hours. I'm like, what happened in the league today, right? That's why your boys got the championship hockey belt. I've showed you that, right?
No, I've never seen this.
You got to
please,
man. Oh yeah, so my brother says picture or it didn't happen, so fuck him. I'm gonna show him right now. Picture right here, boys. You got the championship belt.
You guys had a hockey belt made?
It's the Ockey League, dude.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This ain't leaving my house.
Fucking thing I've ever seen.
This ain't leaving my possession for a few years at least, boys.
Dude, throw it over the shoulder.
Let's get it.
Let's get a good. Your brother didn't think you had this?
Yeah, dude.
Throw it over the shoulder.
Right here, man. Right here.
You gotta throw it over the
DC right here. DC. Like DC, baby.
See,
you see that knockout last night?
No.
Oh, dude.
I did watch it. I did watch it on ESPN. I did see that.
How many people saw that coming? First round is.
I have no idea.
You make Stipe look like that?
Dude, I'm telling you, that is like,
What amazing.
as far as like, but that's for you, but that makes sense for you because like you live, breathe, and die hockey, right?
Yeah.
Like you ask me, and it's not good, but it's like you want to ask me something. It's like Florida State football, right? I could tell you a shit ton about the D-backs because I watch them every day. But as far as like watching baseball as a whole, like you'll watch any hockey game that pops on, right?
Yeah, if I have to.
I need to have something that's like there for me to be able to be invested in. So, i.e., a fantasy player of mine, right?
All you need is a $5 prop bet on some shit.
See, but the thing about it is, I had to cut back on that. I got into a little.
You had to cut back on prop bets?
I can. Oh no, not necessarily prop bets, but just betting on sports in general. Because I went into like where I was spending so much time looking up like I already spent enough time on my fantasy team as it is, and then it's like I'm spending even more time looking up at like statistical averages, how this team's played in the last 10 games, how this team's played against this team historically. Like it's just ridiculous. It was just taking me into a place that I was like, I gotta get back out of this. So now
it sounds like a really good place. You were doing math.
Well, that's a good point, but that was like at the same time, it's like I have to be able to, between the fantasy baseball and this, there's an hour and a half of my day right there. Because I spent 30
Did you
minutes
pick up
a day.
cigars while you were just in this betting craze, just smoking cigars?
Yeah, right.
It sounds like
I wish.
Smoking cigars, going
sit
through
there,
all these
sit at a fucking sports book. If we had sports books out here,
Game
shit.
over. I live walking
Shit.
distance from Casino, Arizona.
Are you kidding me? Like you go there, I would go there all
fucking
the time. I'd
Well,
sit
you
back,
know what we
have
need to do
drinks.
though is, I'm honest, we need to get like a big group together and go use my uncle would join us. He's awesome. We can go get he's got a place in Laughlin. They got sports books in Laughlin. That's all you need.
I'm saying.
You got some leathered up white people and
There we
some
go.
people that just like Las Vegas kicked out.
Yeah, they're not allowed back at
He's
all.
like,
the
you suck,
casinos.
man. Get out of here. Like, oh, we'll go to
Yeah,
Laughlin.
banned out, yeah.
Fuck you. We don't need you, Vegas. We'll be in Laughlin. Bullhead City.
I literally I love places like that because you can just hide there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like if I was a big time celebrity, like Laughlin would probably be like my go-to.
Yeah.
For sure. Why not? You can just hide out and be able to get away with all the degenerate shit you want to do and then go back to
You got the
regular
river
society.
too. You got the river.
There's a river there?
Oh yeah, the Colorado.
Colorado.
It's on the
That's a
border.
big
It's on
deal.
the border of, and
That's a big
California's
deal.
right there too. So you got Nevada, California, and Arizona that all meet.
That'd
Like
be a
right there.
blast.
It's a good time. It's a good time. I mean, if you didn't have the sports book, you get pretty damn bored fast. But you can get hotel rooms there for like $50.
That's awesome.
It's cheap. It's so
That's
bad.
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It was funny.
bad.
Me and my buddy were talking about that. They were like, you know what? We always do these guys trip to all these like big cities. Like last year it was New York, Chicago, and like they're like, what if we did a trip one year to like the shittiest cities in the country? Like we're not talking about like small podunk towns. Like I'm thinking like a Little Rock, Arkansas, something with a little bit of size to it, but that's not
Like
too
Santa
big.
Fe.
Right? And no
Because
offense
Santa
to
Fe would be
any of
fun.
them.
I mean, no offense to any of those cities,
Yeah,
but like, let's be honest. A tourist, that's not your top destination
Exactly.
on a tourist.
They're like, so
platform.
why don't we start going to places like that instead? And like, we'll just walk in and just own the place.
Yeah.
You know, just be like the new guys on the block.
That
kind
would
of
piss
deal.
some people off
Oh
in the
my
local
god,
area.
it would piss the fucking people off. Are you kidding me?
You hear what that guy says is ours?
Yeah, he's gonna literally like. Could you imagine just a bunch of fucking like hoity-toity 9-to-5 guys walking in somewhere at a place like that, some dive bar? We'd get our asses.
Especially some of my boys from California, they're just like this super. They got like these. I mean, California's
These
got a different
California guys,
mentality.
for
You go to the
sure.
South with that, people were like,
God.
yeah,
"Oh man."
I'm not. This is a weird con here.
Funny you bring that up. One of my buddies from Calabasas, like he heard one of my other buddies talk, who's got like a super thick like Southern accent, and he like texts me. He's like, "Holy shit, that's fucking Southern." I was like, "Yeah, dude, I don't think you'd last 5 minutes down
Where's
there."
your boy from? Like, is he from New Orleans?
He's from the guy that was talking.
Louisiana?
He's from Alabama.
Louisiana. Okay, because I feel like Louisiana's got some serious.
I've been to Baton Rouge. I've been in New Orleans. I got a tattoo in Baton
I mean, they all
Rouge.
have their own dialect, but I feel like the Louisiana ones.
Can't listen to it. You
It's
can't
just-
understand
It's
it.
just a little rough.
It's you can't understand it. Like I was like almost to the point where at certain points I was like, holy fuck, I need subtitles.
Yeah.
Like holy shit, I need subtitles.
Sometimes a little bouncing ball.
yeah, sing along. I need a sing along. That's right.
What would be a little icon for
Oh,
somebody in
dude, you'd have to
Louisiana?
be like a fleur-de-lis.
Like occasionally, like a shrimp or
yeah,
something.
like a shrimp.
Little
Exactly.
shrimp.
Yeah, or like that fleur-de-lis, the Saints
Crawfish.
logo. Yeah, just
Yeah, it'd be the tiger.
for sure. Yeah, tiger or Cocho. You can do a picture of Cocho right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny, dude. I want to go to Baton Rouge or
You got to go. I tell everybody.
New Orleans is a city I have to go to.
Everyone that I talk to that is from California, that live out west, that I was like, you have to go down to the South because I think there is a lot of shit that people don't know about that they would have really enjoyed out
Yeah,
there,
it's crazy.
that people miss out on, you know, just because they think, oh, it's the South, you know.
That's
they just think
interesting.
of, you know,
I think
general stigma of the South.
I think the 3 cities I would want to visit in the U.S. right now that I haven't been to before, would New Orleans would be number 1.
Okay.
I've never been to Boston, and I really want to see the history there because
Sure.
like, Boston's got some history.
It does. It does.
And then maybe just get my fucking club on in Miami. Never been there before. Not my scene. Not my scene. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't do Miami. I obviously I would if I could ball out, but I'm not that kind of scene person. Right? It's just clubs.
Dude,
It's not my
Miami's
thing.
crazy. It's like a totally different part. Like, obviously, for various reasons.
But New Orleans has got some serious history. I mean, I bet you like Miami does too. Like around Miami, they got
Miami's cool. It's beautiful. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, Miami's like, you know, the South Beach, Miami, like, you know, Lambo after Lambo rolling by, but it's like, you know, $15 margaritas. You know, if you're a guy, like $50 a cover at the door, and then you're paying $15 a drink. Like, I mean, I think it was like one of my buddies went recently, and he's like, every time I go, I spend at least $3,000, and he's not even like, you know,
it's
sitting
crazy.
there like just balling.
Nashville
out.
is
Like,
cool.
that's just-
I would probably do
Nashville's tight.
Austin, Boston, New Orleans.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh,
Austin was actually a place I was looking at moving to when I was originally trying to figure out where I was going to go and that. But as far as Austin's concerned, it's just it's getting a little too liberal over there for me.
They're a little too liberal. Everywhere's getting too liberal.
Right.
Everywhere.
Right.
Unless you go back to the South. They're going to hold
Free
strong
reign.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Brandon would tell me I was like drive along the highway, or like we'd be like on a back roads even, and there's a cemetery, and then there's a cemetery, and then there's a cemetery. And, you know, I'm like, why are there so many cemeteries? And he's like, dude, like, see that house right there? Like up the hill a little bit?
Yeah.
It's like, it's all decorated for Thanksgiving.
Right.
He's like, everybody in the ground right there used to live in that house right there. And I
Yep.
was like, oh, no shit. Okay, yeah, see, that's why they want their guns.
Dude.
Like, this is my house.
Dude, you're not coming
It's
for
not my track
Over
home
my
that
dead body.
I went to a bank to get a
Yeah.
mortgage for, and I just paid the bank off, so
Yeah.
now it's my house.
Oh, yeah.
And the house across the street looks just like my house.
Dude.
It's like, no, this is my land. I need my guns. I may need 150 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's taking this land
Oh,
from me.
100%. I went to a town called Taylor, Mississippi when I was in Oxford.
Is it spelled
and-
Taylor?
Yep.
It's a damn
just
good
like
city.
your last name. Uh-huh. So Taylor, Mississippi, right? You go there and there's this place called Taylor Grocery, right? Like you put in, it's like this fucking experience, right? Like on game weekends in Oxford, like for football, like you have to go there, you put your name on the list, but then the whole parking lot is just covered with people just tailgating to go to this one restaurant, right? And Taylor, Mississippi, like I think their graduating class the year I was there in high school was 4. And 4 people graduated from the high school there. And there's people legitimately tailgating out there, right? To just be able to go to this one, it's called Taylor Grocery, this one single restaurant that has like 9 tables, right? Like 9 or 10 tables total. And all they sell is just like fried catfish. That's what they're like what they're known for,
Their
kind of
staple.
deal is. But people come there in droves. You'll see 100 people in the parking lot just waiting, and then they don't use any sort of microphone. They literally come out on the porch and they yell your name, and if you don't get in there, they cross you off the list and they move on to the next one. You have to get right back in line if you miss it. So that's pretty cool.
That's
it's
cool.
Like,
Yeah,
and
you're
a lot
not
of people
gonna
miss
find
out about that. On that
You're
kind
not
of
gonna
stuff.
find that shit. Yeah,
You're not gonna find that in California.
It just makes you think like it's just crazy. We're the United States of America, but like how not united we are, how different we are. It's just a different world. It's just a different world in different parts of the country.
And I think
Completely
that,
different.
and I think that is part of what makes it kind of unique, though.
That's what makes the job being the president like the fun. You're supposed to
It fucking
unite us
sucks.
all. Like,
Yeah,
what?
no
no,
shot.
that's not gonna happen.
But
Like,
I
who would
think
want
that
job?
that's kind of the strength that we have, though, as like a whole. If you think of the country as a whole, the fact that we're all so different, we've got so much different stuff going on, it's kind of awesome. Because you can go experience it all.
Yeah, I feel bad though, but just because lately it just doesn't feel like we're united. It just feels like no one's talking about like I get it. Like you like this president, you don't like this president, and
Right.
there's certain like really messed up shit going on. But it's just sad.
Social media
Sad to
just
see.
connect us all.
Yeah.
It's
like
more
ripping us
prevalent now.
apart. It's ripping us apart.
Right, and I think it's more prevalent now in the sense to where like people, it's more in your face as it was before, right?
Way.
So if you look at like, I'm sure this has been happening for quite some time, but all these major like things that you see happening, like we would have had no idea it was happening to on the other side of the world kind of deal. And that's same instance for what's happening here in the country. You're just at a point now where you're at a boiling point where people are just so divided, but that's kind of.
I mean, social media's got its benefits for like viralness and people like this podcast and like music and whatever. Like you can.
We gotta call this the serious episode,
right? You get the reach.
Right.
You get the reach out there so much more. It's so much quicker. But like at the end of the day, I don't got that shit on my phone. I don't look at it. I don't need it. I don't need to know. I mean, I love the people in my life.
So you did a purge.
My friends. Oh, absolutely.
You purged it all.
I have it. It's just not. It's just not on my phone in my pocket, and I don't log in and check it because
smart.
If you need me, you'll get a hold of me through my cell phone, and I still have the messenger on my phone. So like, if somebody is trying to reach out to me through Facebook, they can get a hold of me still. Sure. But I don't need it, and
That's so
I think
smart.
I'm like worried. I'm like, dang, I gotta get it so I can like put my podcast and get my. I'm like, no, actually, you know what? If people like it, they'll come to it, they'll subscribe to it, and listen to it.
100%.
Still only got one subscriber. You know who that is?
The guy who comes on and like makes the serious episode. Why do I have to be the serious guy?
At the moment we're recording this, I have one subscriber right now, and it's this guy right here. So John, Evan, Allison, anybody else
what the hell are you doing?
This, subscribe to that shit.
Help him out.
Yeah,
how's it going to take some random guy from across the country to come subscribe to your best friend's podcast? Do better. You can do better.
Yeah, so you can all do better.
Yeah, we can all do better. This is a serious podcast.
Go vote.
Yeah, let's talk about voting. Let's talk. What else? What other serious topics we talk about?
I wish that California had the same tax breaks that, or no, not California. The Arizona had the same tax breaks. Florida. You missed that? Or I guess you weren't old enough.
No income tax. That's a plus of Florida. I mean, but it's 2% here. You get it all back.
Oh, yeah.
So with Florida, you pay zero income tax, but the property taxes are through the roof. And if you want to, I think my aunt says it best. If you want to live in Florida, right, you're going to have to mix this up, put this back in our Florida portion. But if you want to live in Florida, why else would you live in Florida unless you don't want to live by the water? Right?
Yeah.
Like, why the hell else would you live there?
There's water everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. So, but there's a lot of people who live in like the middle portion of Florida where it's just hot and swampy, and
there's water.
There's water. There's sinkholes at any, because Florida's on an aquifer, right?
Oh yeah, it's the whole thing.
So the whole thing is just it's sedimentary runoff from the Appalachian Mountains over millions of years. It's literally just, if you take a look at like the Appalachian Mountain chain coming down the East Coast, that rain and all the little pebbles that rain has taken has built the state of Florida. It's literally just been
crazy.
Yeah, it's literally nuts, right? So you have those fucking things like sinkholes. Have you ever fucking seen one of those things? Where all of a sudden one day you're sitting in your house, next thing you know, boom, floor goes through the roof.
Temecula.
Dude, they have sinkholes? Okay.
Yeah, it's
so you know
the groundwater. The ground.
Oh yeah, sitting on an aquifer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like wild as fuck. Which is like funny thing is you're saying is like with Florida, you don't want to live anywhere other than the water, right? But if you live on the water, you gotta have hurricane insurance. You gotta have X, Y, and Z to be able to be prepared for in case there's like storm surge and things of that nature. And it's just like
Mother Nature does not want you to live in Florida.
No,
not at all.
It's not meant for.
I mean, Mother Nature doesn't want you to live in Arizona, pretty much. I guess. I know, right?
It's always so pressure. We're all out here just doing the Darwin thing.
Yeah, seriously though. I mean, I good old Darwin 1, 2, 3.
Stop.
I definitely need to go to Florida though. That's just
go to Disney World.
Really?
Enjoy the beaches in Tampa, St. Pete. Oh yeah, Disney World's.
Where do you go?
Around the world.
Yeah, but you can't just
Epcot.
go to Epcot. That's the grown-up one.
That's the grown-up one. Yeah.
I heard Animal Kingdom's good.
Animal Kingdom's kind of cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Everything's cool at Disneyland.
Yeah,
right?
well,
All right,
animals
so
are cool.
This actually is a good one. I thought this idea that like let me get my my phones. Damn it. That like if there was like pop-up, like if Disneyland franchised itself. Like if it's just like, you know how they get like a Starbucks instead of a fries, like, but Disneyland's not small anymore. Like it's the same size, right? But it's just like
I like this.
It's just like blown out inside of like a Walmart, but like that's just the entrance. Like you go into Walmart, like, oh, there's Disneyland right there. You just go into it, like all of a sudden you're in Disneyland now.
Just have like one or two rides and like, hey, thanks for coming to Disneyland. Put a gift shop on the end of it.
But it's still huge. No, it's still huge. It's the same size.
So you want to do the same size?
I guess no. I guess you could get it. Like, you could just shrink it down.
No, I like it, but you can do both.
But
you can do both. You can do both.
Yeah.
So I like what you're doing here because you're saying that, hey, like, we could franchise out Disneyland to the point where, like, maybe that's what we need to unite us all.
So, like, then you have...
See, you're talking about how we're so divided. Let's start putting fucking Disneylands everywhere.
Do you guys see what they're building down at the end of the street?
Hey, Mobile.
It's a Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's gonna take over everything.
Yeah, exactly. In the middle of Mobile, Alabama, just throw Disneyland in there. That's what will bring people together.
Hey, did you guys see what just opened up next to Rosati's? It's a Disneyland. Yeah, me and the wife are taking the kids this weekend.
Yeah, they just popped in.
It just popped up right there. They got like mobile Disneylands.
Dude, pop-up Disneyland.
Like a blow-up castle.
Why wouldn't
it's like a blow-up Disneyland.
You go in there, have like the teacups going, things like that. Dude, it's perfect.
Oh, it's a blow-up.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
You gotta get there's traction to that because that's only.
What about like a drive-through Disneyland? You just like
a drive-through.
You're like, oh, look at that!
Like one of those, like those fucking like have you ever been to Arizona, the wildlife park?
A little wild animal park or something like that. Like they have one in San Diego. I haven't been to Arizona.
Dude, sick, absolutely crazy. You just drive through and there's like wolves and bears.
What if it was Mickey? What if it was?
Yeah, exactly. What if it was Mickey and Daffy and you basically had all this shit going on? You go through different lands like Frozen Land, like Toy Story Land, things like that. There's traction to that.
It's just like a picture of Space Mountain. Oh, that's Space Mountain.
You can stop off at a certain point and get those little Mickey Mouse ice cream bars. Those things are fun.
What about Disneyland kiosk? Okay, you just get like a $20 churro.
There you go.
The same price.
Turkey leg.
Turkey leg that's like
$18. Have a turkey leg, yeah, but they have to be the same prices. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola.
Because it wouldn't feel as good unless you were getting bent over the barrel for something you're going to eat a quarter of and hate yourself for.
Exactly. What's the water that Coca-Cola produces? Dasani.
That's
like
shit.
$4.
Yeah, $4 Dasani, which is pretty much sewer water that they pump chemicals in to make it taste good.
There's a regular kiosk with like zebra cakes and like juicy fruit,
100%.
and then next to it there's just a Disneyland kiosk. You're
exactly.
Like, oh, that's awesome.
God, I feel like I'm right here at Disney.
What's in that strip mall, honey? There's Massage Envy.
Yeah.
There's a Jamba Juice. A Gold's Gym and a Disneyland.
And Spencer's Gifts and a Disneyland.
And there's a Disneyland right there.
No,
what do you want?
Put one of those little with your kiosk idea, you could throw together like a when they like simulated roller coaster things you see in those shitty malls.
Yeah.
And like you get into them and it's just like this thing that just goes up and down and you watch a TV and it feels like you're going into the roller coaster.
Soaring over California shit.
You could do that. Exactly.
Oh yeah, just
there's traction.
Mobile Disney. What do you want for your birthday party, honey? I want Disneyland.
Trip to the mall. Yeah. That's a trip to the mall.
We're bringing you to
Little do you know. Yeah.
Alright, can we have a Disneyland here? How long? 4 hours? You think 4 hours is good? Have the Disneyland for like 4 hours? Okay, yeah, let's do the Disneyland.
They'll be here between the hours of 1 and 9.
You want Tomorrowland? Adventureland? Do you want? They have a California Adventure. We'll do the California Adventure.
We'll take the California.
It's $30 more. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
It's Disneyland. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's money is just
money's not real.
$20 is like $5 now.
Yeah, I just paid $20 for a beer. That's the best $20 I've spent all day, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think there's traction to that. And like I said, we're trying to bridge the gap here.
They already kind of do that.
That's our mission.
You know, people go to they go to fast food. They're like, I want to go to McDonald's, but like in Saudi Arabia, or I want to go to McDonald's like in Paris. You know what I mean? Just to see what that McDonald's is like.
Right.
You go to China, you can go to Disneyland like that, and be like, I wonder what the Disneyland is like over there.
Knockoff version. I guarantee.
Right, but like if they franchise it, it won't be. So you can go like, I wonder what they have in Portugal. Their Portugal Disneyland.
The Portugal Disneyland is
gonna be great. You can go to a soccer game. You can go to Disneyland.
Right.
Just franchise the house.
Hey, you know what? I think that with your Disneyland idea, what we could really think about is actually placing them right in places that you don't want to go. Right. So like a DMV. So now you get the state involved, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you can go ahead and put it in a DMV. Then all of a sudden the DMV becomes entertaining because you're going to Disneyland, but you're also getting to knock out your DMV trip.
Like, hey, listen, you can right after you're done here, we have a Disneyland around the corner, around back, if you'd like to go to Disneyland.
Exactly.
That's fucking
Dentist,
hilarious. The courthouse.
We're talking scalability.
I got one. What if it's like it gets so bad it's like a Disneyland across the street from a Disneyland?
Right. Yeah, like this place you go, you see fucking Starbucks across the street.
Damn it, you got a Disneyland there, a Disneyland there.
Exactly.
Which one do you want to go to?
And it would make it accessible, and people would be entertained, and they would subsequently be more happy, and then we fix the country.
We just have fix the world.
We just figured it out.
Everywhere. It's Disneyland, international Disneyland.
I say we write a letter up to Donnie after this podcast. Here. We go ahead and just get this moving.
Yeah, Walt's got to hit up whoever's living in Walt's bloodline. Figure that out. That's got to help, right?
Does he still have he probably does.
He's got some people, right? Or is he gay?
I'm not sure. He could be.
He made a little gay little mouse.
Yeah, it's very cool. That's very true. Is Mickey Mouse gay?
I mean, look at the
This
thing.
thing?
He's got Minnie. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
but like still, it's like
I always thought it was like that could potentially be his sister. You think? Or
no, they love each other. There's
Oh,
like
really?
there's like love
So
and
he's not
passion
gay. Or
involved,
maybe
yeah.
he's closet.
Or maybe he is.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be closet.
Big if true.
I just like I don't know.
I can't say that.
All I know is Mickey Mouse isn't the toughest thing and the most manly thing. And if
Right.
you're a grown man in sport, and like you might be a little gay, or have a little kid. That makes sense. Like if you have a little kid, then
I do
we're
have a
Mickey.
black hat. I do have a black golf hat, Nike golf hat, with a little white Mickey Mouse thing that I got from one of the
Well,
golf
Chase,
clubs.
my buddy Chase will
So I
hate me.
might be gay.
My buddy Chase will hate me because he's got like 2 Mickey Mouse hats that he sports all the time.
He's probably a great guy.
It's a great guy. He's not gay at all.
Fantastic.
Definitely not gay.
So there's 2 of us.
I'm just saying, like, in general, it's just like, this guy gay.
For sure. Yeah. Come on, dude. Right.
It's like, oh, that guy's got a St. Louis Cardinals baseball hat on. Oh, that guy's got a Mickey hat on. Like, it's gonna...
Yeah, might be a little gay.
No, yeah, might be a little gay. But yeah, I mean, they're remodeling all of Disneyland now. It's just going to be a
Did
bunch
you
of
see it?
Star Wars and everything. It's cool as hell.
So Disney World, what I'm familiar with, just put in a Toy Story World, like Toy Story Land. Their Slinky Dog roller coaster, 7.5 hour average wait time right now. She showed me a video of it the other day. People are waiting in line 7.5 hours to go on that. Do you understand that's a work day?
People, what they do is like they come up with these plans. Like, okay, you're gonna wait in it for 4 hours. We're gonna come back. You can go
Crazy.
eat. Come back, wait in for 2 more, and then we'll finish it off and wait here. It's like it's just like
Give it 4 years, people.
People love that stuff.
Give it 4 years.
I honestly hate it.
It's a 90-second ride at the maximum. 4 years. Give it 4 years.
You're
Let
gonna-
an election cycle go through, and you'll be able to go walk through no problem. You don't probably need a fast
The
pass.
best part about rides, you catch something typically new in like every part of your ride, or you don't remember something from it. Like
That's true. That's a good point.
Like you can go on, you can't go on it multiple times. Though you're just gonna go on it once and be like, oh, that was awesome, and then miss half of the ride. You can't ever go on
I
it
still
again.
haven't been to Disneyland. I want to go to Disneyland.
It's cool. I mean, I haven't been to Disney World.
California Adventures.
So
that's
you
a Cars
haven't been
one,
to
right?
each other's places because
Right.
my
So it's
sister
insane.
loves Disney World, but she's like Disneyland is amazing too.
Right. They're each
But it's
unique.
so small. Like you're used to like
Massive. Right.
just drop a fucking nuke and
Right.
just, that's Disneyland right.
Right.
there, right? Ours is like a little stick of TNT, pretty much. It's
Well, Disney
little,
World pretty
little
much
M80.
owns the state of Florida, so
Mm-hmm.
that whole area. They're even like the little like when you get into the name of the city Disney's in is technically Orlando, but it's the town name is Celebration.
Yeah, it's like its own.
It's its
government.
own working
It's-
thing.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And like you go through there and like like the what are those things that hold the electric wires that run the electric wires.
Yeah,
So,
big old
you
freaking
know,
electrical
what are those
posts.
called? Electric posts, right?
I don't know.
They have them. They're all Mickey shaped. They're like big Mickey Mouse ears.
It's just so weird.
It's everything down to a T.
I love Disneyland. I do.
Right.
I think it's great. I think it pulls out the best in some people. It also makes some people a bunch of assholes.
True. That is a.
That also makes some people
So maybe
big assholes.
Disney's not the thing we need to connect the people with because it's quite a polarizing thing. Because you're right. Because you can think of all the great memories, right? of Disney, right? You know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you go to Disney World or Disneyland and you cut off the 450-pound lady that's been waiting in the heat all day on accident, and she flips out on you because she wanted to get to that popsicle stand before you.
Could cause some
gets
problems.
Real problems.
Traffic too. Be pretty bad. If Disneyland opened up, everyone would want to go to it.
Well, yeah, of course.
But it'll be
Then we'd
alright.
all
We'll
be
figure it
super
out.
rich.
We'll figure it out. There's gonna be so many one day.
We'll be so rich. We just build
So many
We just
one
build
day.
a gondola that goes from people's houses to Disneyland.
Oh,
And
that'd
just
be
get
sick.
direct access.
You just pick you up and take
It's
you.
easy.
Just hop on down.
Easy stuff.
A little like what's the metro for the little Disneyland? This Disney's own little
shit.
metro.
I have no idea.
I wore new shoes one time to Disneyland.
Yeah.
That was the biggest mistake. Don't ever wear good shoes to Disneyland.
What the hell? Oh,
Well, one, you wear them. We wear them out. Like, just you walk so much, right?
Yeah.
And they're not broken in. Like, your feet
You're
hurt.
fucked.
The biggest problem, though, and this is more for everybody, because some people have tougher feet than most.
Right.
The strollers. Your feet are gonna get run over by like 3-4 strollers when you're
That's
there, and
actually
you're gonna
a really
have
good
stroller
point.
tire marks on your
Dude, that's
your
a really
shoes.
good point,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, you crush
because
it.
that's like you're looking at like there's a beastly number of strollers, and some of those aren't light.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you were wearing brand new shoes, your shoes are fucked.
yeah. They got some tight lines in Disneyland. Like the Indiana Jones is like you're in a tunnel. Luckily they don't make strollers go in there, but you are just like in this tight space too. So like if you don't like tight spaces, some Disneylands aren't the place for you.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
for me. That's like Space Mountain in Disney World.
Yeah,
Basically like this space flight simulator that like reenacts like Gary Sinise is like the guy who runs it. There's like the character, and like you have like each different station. One's the commander, one's this, one that. You gotta land this plane. It's the same exact thing every time, but it's like you got this like when that thing closes, it's like you're just like in this fucking thing. I lose it.
Dude. So you must have went a lot when you were a kid then too, like I did. Because for me, Disneyland was in Orange County, so it's closer to Temecula and no traffic. You get there in
right
50, 45 minutes.
Hour and 15 minutes where I'm from. We used to do a pass every year to be able to. We would just go on random weekends and stuff like that.
That's
We'd
awesome.
go and we'd go up to Epcot, and we'd go up to. We really wouldn't do a lot of Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios, we'd do a lot of that's one with like the Tower of Terror and like Rock and Roller Coaster. And
I got a
stuff
Jimmy
like that.
Fallon right now.
Do they really? Oh,
Pretty
in
confident.
California?
No,
Or in Disney World?
I'm pretty confident.
See, I haven't been back in so long, but my favorite thing is like one of my best friends, Marcus. His dad would get us in there for free, and we would just drink around the world, which is an absolute fucking blast. It's like a little expensive, but it's so worth it because at the time you could either start in Mexico or start in Canada, and it's just one big oval, and like you go from spot to spot to spot.
You drink?
You have to have one drink at each one.
That's so cool.
Try and make it all the way around the world. Yeah, it's a
That's
fucking
so
blast.
cool.
So we would always start in Mexico first, get the tequila out of the way.
Oh,
Just
can
get
you
a
carry
good base
tequila with
layer.
you the whole way? I
Oh
love
yeah,
tequila.
you can carry your whatever you
that's
want
so
with
cool.
you
I
the
was
whole
pretty-
time.
Oh, dude, that's sick. Where else? Like, so what else do they have? Because they have every country, do they?
So they have. I'm trying to remember. They've got China, Japan, Morocco, Canada, the U.S., Germany, Norway, Mexico. Mexico.
See if they have a list.
Yeah, they for sure have a list.
France, Morocco,
France,
Japan.
exactly.
Dude, they have so many. Holy cow.
So yeah, so basically like you go through each one of them and then you basically have a drink at each one. And what's cool is like one year for my buddy's birthday we had T-shirts made and we had the bartenders sign each one of the back, like each spot, each country. They would sign like their autograph on it. So then when we made it all the way around, by the time we got to Canada, man.
Now they have like
So
custom
obnoxious.
drinks, or do you like you get your own? You can get whatever you want. You can
You can get whatever you want. I mean,
you
you can go. No, they have custom. No, you gotta get. There's just like only stuff native to the country
Cool.
at that spot, right? So
Cool.
the most embarrassing thing that happened was I go to Japan, right? And this was like a wake up moment for me. This had never fucking dawned on me. So this is kind of like a PSA here. So I go to Japan and I go in there and it's me and my buddies and we're fucking drunk and we walk in there and I go to the bartender. I was like, hey, I'll take 4 sake bombs, right? And the bartender looks at me with this very stern look, and she goes, yeah, exactly. That was perfect. She goes, that's American culture, not Japanese culture. And then in that instance, right there, I had the fastest coming to Jesus I've ever had in my life. So picture yourself at a bar at a Japanese place with your friends, right? Sake, 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 bomb, bang. You have the bomb sitting at the top, the chopsticks go down, boom, explosion happens. Yes, that's exactly what was going on in my fucking head that day. I go, I'll take 4 Sapporos, and I'm like, we gotta go. I was like, that's so fucking nuts. Can you believe that? Because think about it. You have a little sake glass, perfect shape, chopsticks across the top of the glass, right? Highball glass filled halfway. That thing, you hit the table, the chopsticks go down, it drops, hits the beer, big white foam comes up.
Wow.
So next time you're in a Japanese restaurant, for
Dang.
anybody who ends up seeing this,
I'm putting
You're
in
welcome.
the description of this
You're welcome.
podcast. I'm putting a little asterisk next to this story.
Welcome.
Dude, that's crazy. I'm never
Wow.
ordering it like that again. Can I have some sake?
Right. It's crazy. Yeah, just ask for some sake and a beer on the side, because that is exactly what that is.
The firebombing we did to Japan, though, like that was worse than that. That was way worse than the nukes we dropped.
Oh,
People
yeah.
don't talk about that. Is the amount of firebombs we burnt down all of Japan. We just dropped fire because they were built out of like wood and shit, and just burnt the fuck out of Japan. So
I mean,
messed up.
they made a bad
so you're
decision.
just like, we're around the world.
Yeah, we're drinking around the world. We're having a good time.
You're just dropping like racist stuff.
That's
all
racist
over.
shit. Yeah,
God.
no idea.
That's
Not
so
even
America.
It literally that is the reason why we get a bad stigma around the country is because of people.
Dude,
like
there's
you
this
that
really
day.
cool documentary I watched about them. It's really long, but it's about this real truth that happened after world, like the whole world, like it's about the whole nation, USA's, America's.
Was it the untold story of the U.S.?
I think it was. That's what it was called. But the whole entire story. But the main thing I liked was like the transition of power. The episode where it talks about World War II and how like during World War II, how like there's one specific period in time where UK was like, "Yo, we need help. We don't got this anymore." And Eisenhower was like, "I got this." And it's really broken down. But you like from that point on, we've just been like, it's us now, not the British colony.
It started off as NIMBY. It was what the term that was used. So it was like, not in my backyard.
Oh yeah,
So it's like not in my backyard, right? So and then eventually to the point where it became like a humanitarian thing, and they were like, okay, holy shit, like we got to help these guys out. So then we went over there and.
Oh, it's time. That's it. End it now. Sorry, the thing always goes up at 3
But
o'clock.
you're 100% right. That's how we kind of came out. It came out of like the.
NIMBY,
we were detached, but then we kind of became Big Brother as opposed to that. After that. Right.
Yeah,
Major player in the international landscape at that point.
Well, yeah, we had to go all over the world and help Britain out with all their colonies.
All that shit.
And like from that point on, it was like we shut down certain parts, or we changed it. We changed the ruling, and it was like all our favorite now. It was crazy. And that's pretty much as far as I got. It was really long. I can't watch like a 9-episode history show, and I got to like 4. And I was like, dude, there's like 60 years left, man.
Yeah,
Damn it. I made it like...
It's a lot.
I made it through the first 200, 300 so fast.
Yeah, it was basically just about the relationship between the UK and the US. That makes sense, because it's a long fucking...
No, it was just that one part of the episode. I mean, it was like literally the whole entire history.
It's badass.
It was pretty cool. The untold story. I don't know, I liked it a lot. Yeah. Should we wrap?
Let's wrap.
Let's wrap it.
Yeah.
All right. Peace, people. That was fun.